a lot of my audience come into my world because particularly they want to manifest a person, or they want to manifest a relationship, or they come into my world very similarly like you as well. It's like, you know, I've done all the tapping and I've done all the affirmations, and I thought all we had to do was, you know, get into repetition, right? Because a lot of people out there are like, just repeat it, just repeat affirmations, put them on your phone, and look at yourself in front of the mirror and just tell yourself all these things. And so a lot of the audience in my world is, they really come from that law of attraction community, right? They're like, I desire this and I want to manifest this, and I've done everything, so why isn't it happening, right? So how do you see shadow work supporting manifestation? Because I don't think a lot of people talk about that.
Yeah. Ooh, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, love that.
Oh my God, there's so many ways to answer this question. But let's just start with, everything is vibration. Everything is vibration. So when you're saying why I don't have it, the vibration is lack. I don't have it.
Lack, yeah.
So by the law of attraction, if I am vibrating in absence and I don't have it, my reality has to be that. So I have to change the vibration for the thing to happen, right? Because I have to have the vibration of abundance. I have to have the vibrations of happiness, if that's what I want. I have to have the vibration of the connection or the romantic relationship, whatever it is that you're working with. As long as you say, I don't have it, because you're aware of that, that's the state of being that you're in, that means you're in absence, right? So yet the mirror has to reflect to where you're at.
Yes.
So first you have to go there and say, well, if I would have it, why would that be so bad?
Yeah.
Right? And why did I ask, why would it be so bad? It's because clearly, vibrationally, you already made it wrong to have it. That's why you don't have it, right?
Yes.
So you have to go find, where did I learn that it was not okay to have that? Or where would I learn that it was not safe to have that? Again, everything goes around safety, right? The reason why we split is because we don't feel safe. Just like the example that I did with mom and the playing and the child removing the joy or the fun, because that moment where mom says, oh, be quiet, or dad gonna be upset, in that moment you don't feel safe because you feel rejected, right? You made fun and pleasure wrong. But the same thing happened here. So anything that you want to manifest, if you're not having it, it's because there has to be an aspect of you that thinks or believes or feels that having it is wrong or unsafe. So you have to go back to that. So you can start with, I mean, no different than what we do with the inner processes, right? You always go start with the body. When you think of having it,
how does it feel?
How does it feel? And that's the direction that you lead or follow to find out, where did I learn this, right?
And let the body lead.
And let the body lead. And then you do the inner healing. So it's the same thing, but you have to start there, right?
Yeah.
And so until you change the vibration, no matter how many times you repeat it, what you're doing is you're increasing the vibration that you're in, the absence, because you're becoming more and more aware. I don't have it, 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 I don't have it. And the vibration gets bigger. And because you don't have it, it gets bigger. Now the reality has to be even bigger. That's where you start losing your money, losing your house, losing your car, losing whatever else that is around that, because you're increasing that every time you become aware. Just like I have it increases the awareness. I have it, I have it, I have it, I have it, more comes. Because I have it, I have it, I have it is your bubble. Right, it's your vibration. So start there. Start recognizing that you're vibrating in lack, not having it. So you had to go find a memory where you learned that it's not safe to have it. Secondly, you do have to get in the state of mind of having it, feeling it, tasting it. It's so funny. Recently in Las Vegas, I think it was in July, a group of my friends and I went to the mountain. We did a hike, right? The sign said waterfall. After visiting waterfalls here, is like, that's not a waterfall. That's like
the waterfall
like
in
a
Bali?
little tiny thing, right? I was like laughing. We joke about it today. Oh, I'm sorry, side joke. But anyways, side off of that. We did it on the way up. We're like, well, let's do manifestation, because we're talking about all these ideas and everything. Well, let's do a manifestation visualization around abundance, right? And we're just sitting there. We're like probably 20 minutes in the mountain, just visualizing and going through the abundance process and all that. And like, okay, we're ready. Because we also were resting because we were like tired of going up. And we're literally just sitting down, and we come out of that.
Yeah.
And like, okay, let's continue. And a person coming down from the waterfall, which is a joke, that waterfall and literally comes and he gives us a flyer in the shape of $1. But it had literally $1 million, each one of us. I still have it in my wallet.
Got goosebumps.
And it was just so amazing that it happened literally as we finished the abundance visualization meditation. Each one of us got $1 million in a little bill. Like it was just my body was like, oh my God, this is how quick that worked.
Yes.
And
how quick it's being reflected in your reality. And I also love that you keep referring to this external reality as a mirror, because that's something that I've been talking about a lot as well. It's like we live in an energetic and a mental universe first, which means that everything is just mirroring what is happening within your body. This is the last physical manifestation. This thing is like, you know, this lived in somebody's head first. It started as a concept first. It started as an idea first. And then this is the last physical manifestation. And if you want to change this, you got to, again, go back here.
Yes, exactly.
Right? So it's like, that's how I always tell people. I'm like, what you're seeing outside is the physical manifestation of what has been happening within. So if you want to change something, and especially, Norma, I feel like a lot of people in my audience feel this need to control people. It's like people are not treating me the way that I want to be treated, and they go external. They're like, why are you doing this to me? Like, why don't you treat me this way? And it's like, but they're reflecting your energy within. So if you want a shortcut, and, you know, does it work when you actually nag people long enough? Yeah, could be. Maybe someday they're like, you know what, fine. But again, they're going to default back to who they are. And if you want a shortcut, how about just go within, change your frequency, change your energy, and that person will just conform. Right? It is you first. And this is what people call self-concept work, which is you change the conception of yourself and of the world.
Because again, you have to go back to the inner world, right? To the work that you have within yourself, the two parts that are fighting or split or disagreeing of what you want. And so there's a very strong part that is wanting to control, yet again, because things that or feels that control keeps you safe. It's always around safety. Always around safety. So if you feel unsafe by losing control, right, you're gonna try to control everything, but clearly every person has their own conscious decisions, will power, right, and they're gonna exercise it. So us trying to control, we are automatically in a lose, automatically. Like, it's insane. It's insane how quickly we're gonna lose control, because you're your own being. You have your own thinking, your own feelings, and I cannot have power over you. Even if I try, I cannot. It has to be your free will, your choice, and only when that is that we get to have a better relationship. And so the reason why they get so frustrated, because
because they want to change people.
But you're automatically at a lose-lose case. Because you do not have the power to control anyone.
And I think at the end of it, again, I go back to Joe Dispenza a lot, because I do his work a lot.
We actually went to the same school.
Oh, I love that. Wait, what's her name again?
Rantha?
Yes. Oh my gosh, so the thing that he says also is what you said about lack and separation. It's like, if you feel like you're separate from that thing, or like the person that has that thing, then you're never gonna actually have that thing, because you deem it unsafe. And so his work is mostly, you become the identity of the person that just simply has it, or is simply believing this, right?
The vibration.
And then you just realize that manifestation is actually not even about outcomes, but it's about becoming.
It's about a state of being.
It's a process of becoming. There you go. It's a state of being. It's not like you said, right? If you think tapping works, it's gonna work. It's not the tapping, it's your belief.
It's your state of being.
It's your state of being. Like if you believe that that is going to get you into a certain state of you having that desire of that, or that, you know, the person with that identity, then it is going to work. Like this is really, like this is an energetic work, and including inner child, because you are dissolving a lot of those false beliefs and
Yeah, but
illusion.
again, those beliefs keep you safe.
Correct. So they're not wrong.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
They keep you safe, but in a false way.
Right, exactly.
Because
The
they
false
keep you
belief.
safe for a little while, but the reality is that you're not, because you're still in pain, or you're still suffering because you don't have the thing that you want, right?
Yeah.
So it's in your best interest to go explore what is there.
Yeah.
Why am I pushing it away, or why am I vibrationally pushing it away? It's because at one point it kept you safe to push that away. So you had to reverse that.
Yeah.
You had to go in and basically help the child know that it's no longer necessary, because you're no longer that child. You're an adult that is capable of either speaking, approaching people, asking, receiving, or even doing it yourself, right? So yeah, you just had to go and almost, because the protectors, by the way, as much as we say, oh, I'm an adult, they're not.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Exactly.
They're children.
Yes.
And that's why
Oh,
when someone,
interesting.
because that's why someone, when
Yeah.
you're an arguing with someone, well, you usually say, well, why are you behaving like a child?
Oh, yeah.
It's because they are.
Yeah.
A protector is a child pretending to be an adult.
Oh my God.